When I announced in 84, it was November 3rd. In 88, it was October 11th. For me, that's early enough because I have traveled the country enough. I know this country and this world enough, and enough people to run 12 months is enough for me. But I am concerned I do not hear sufficient vision to change the course of the country. A lot of debate right now, Harry, about the $10 billion request loan guarantee for Mr. Shamir from Israel. And whether he gets that loan guarantee today or whether he gets it in December, at least he has an imagination and a plan big enough to house his people and to keep his people working. Can you imagine that Mr. Shamir has a $10 billion plan for his people, 4 million people, and Mr. Bush an $8 billion HUD budget for America? The fact is we must have dreams. We must have ideas that correspond to the size of our needs. And this is the time, no more time for patchwork. This is the time, in my judgment, to put forth a bold plan to rebuild America, to build affordable housing, and put people back to work. And I don't really hear that.
It sounds to me like you're hungry to get back in the mix. In the past, though, you've said this costs a lot, not just financially, but in terms of wear and tear personally on your family. Does it cost too much?
Well, it is very expensive. Our family has made that decision, made that sacrifice down through the years, and we have been wrestling with it. So for us, it is now under serious consideration. There was a meeting held Sunday night. Congresswoman Maxine Waters and Congressman Charlie Rangel and Hayes from Illinois, Kawisi Mfume from Baltimore, Payne from New Jersey, a number of them are urging me to run. I'm going to speak this weekend at the Democratic National Committee to be held in Los Angeles, California, and spend the next few weeks with delegates from around the country that we amassed in 1988. And after a reasonable period of meeting with our delegates and allies from around the country, make a determination as to the most effective way for us to serve in 1992. I am convinced if I were to run that I can win the nomination and can build a sufficient coalition to win the presidency.
You took a shot at President Bush here just a second ago, but looking at it realistically, here's a president who's very strong in the polls, has proven leadership skills, is a very able and tough politician.
Well, he's not tough enough to address the fact that there are 10 million Americans who have no job. We've lost 3 million manufacturing jobs in the last 10 years. He is not so tough so as to avoid it looking at a $4 trillion debt next year, that the S&L will collapse. About $600 billion it will cost us to bail it out. And now banks and insurance companies are moving in that direction. I think some of these foreign adventures that has given him such high ratings in the polls have left us kind of with a lot of pride, but a kind of emptiness, because what America really needs now is a level of economic security that we do not have. We, in fact, need jobs as alternatives to welfare and despair. We need for those workers in transition retraining, as well as unemployment compensation, and we need a national health care plan. I suppose what's missing in the Bush scenario now is that it's just he's running on the track by himself, and so he's popular. But is he popular because there are 10 million people without jobs? Is he popular because there are 40 million folks who have no health insurance, or we do not have an adequate budget to educate our children? I think in a face-to-face duel that you'll see Mr. Bush come down to size.
All right. Jesse Jackson, thanks very much for joining us. I had the feeling that you just didn't want to take the job at CNN because you were afraid you weren't going to get to talk to us anymore.
Well, not really.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Hattie?
It is 15 after the hour. Coming up next, the numbers jumble. We will clear up those confusing financial statistics.
Ends September 25th. The biggest cash bonus offer in Ford truck history ends September 25th. Everybody gets $1,000 cash back on every pickup in stock. But if you're in business or work for a business, you may qualify for up to a $2,000 bonus on a full-size pickup. With a preferred equipment package discount, you could save over $4,000. And that's before you make your best deal. See your local Ford dealer now, right now, because his $2,000 truck clearance absolutely ends September 25th.
I like to know everything. I'm one of those people. Give me the facts. Well, Healthy Choice does that. They give you what you need to know. It's all there. Low fat, low cholesterol, low sodium. You see, Healthy Choice understands that I can make sense of this. I appreciate that. Healthy Choice, my favorite foods and the facts I want, right here. With Healthy Choice, the choice is yours. The gift of music. Wurlitzer's rental program puts the dream within reach. For poise, concentration, self-expression that grow with your child. For the confidence that comes with accomplishment. Satisfaction and personal pleasure that lasts a lifetime.
Come into Critchett today and find out how you can rent a beautiful new Baldwin or Wurlitzer piano for only $39 down and $39 per month plus free delivery. Hurry, it's only for a limited time. Think about it. Your home is your biggest investment. An old, undependable garage door can really detract from your home's appearance. Let the professionals at Adams Door Company replace your old garage door with a Rainer Decade steel door featuring a lifetime warranty. Visit Adams Door Company's new showroom at the Westport Home Center and see a complete display of full-size replacement garage doors. You depend on your doors, so depend on Adams Door Company, 104th and Hickman in the Westport Home Center just east of Living History Farm.
It is 18 after the hour. Every day, the CBS Morning News reports a roundup of the latest financial figures. But what do those numbers really mean? Money Magazine editor Eric Schurenberg is here with some answers. Hello, thanks for coming in.
Good morning, Hattie.
Let's take a look at today's numbers, section by section, and maybe you can help us through the maze. Okay, from the top.
In the financial markets this morning, London stock prices opened mixed. The Tokyo stock market closed lower this morning. The Nikkei index fell 125 points, down 0.5%.
Now, why should I care what's happening in Tokyo or London?
Okay, well, like any major financial center, Tokyo and London have a stock exchange where you can buy and sell shares in big British and Japanese corporations. Now, if you own shares in an international mutual fund, then you want to pay attention to those markets because they tell you whether you're making money or not.
And if you don't?
Well, if you don't, if you're interested in trading American stocks that day, then you want to pay attention to what's going on in London and Tokyo because it can give you an idea of what might happen in New York later that day.
Okay, let's look at the next section of the financial report.
Wall Street gets down to business with the Dow Jones Industrial Average at 3,013. The Dow slipped 2 points yesterday.
Now, we all look at the Dow as representing what's happening on Wall Street.
Well, it's perfectly acceptable usage to say the market was down, too. Everyone knows what you mean. But it wasn't really the market. Not really. It was the Dow. And like any index, the Dow just measures a small segment of the stock market. To be specific, the 30 large company stocks make up the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, there are 9,000 stocks in the country, so the Dow 30 clearly doesn't tell the whole story.
So the Dow could be down and the rest could be up?
That's right. That happens sometimes. That happened last Monday, as a matter of fact.
So it's a clue, but it's not necessarily what's happening.
Well, it's a good shorthand for the stock market as a whole. Now, you want to be interested in the stock market as a whole, and the Dow is a pretty good shorthand for that, because the stock market is a very good indicator of the direction that the economy is going.
Which affects us all,
It affects
definitely.
your job security.
Okay, let's look at the, I think this is the wrap-up of the financial report.
And the price of gold opened in London this morning at $347 an ounce. That's up 30 cents from the closing price yesterday in New York.
Now, there used to be a myth. I think it was a myth. There was a saying that as the economy's down, buy gold, because that's the only way to be safe.
That's right. Well, gold has been a puzzle lately. That was a myth. It used to be a good barometer of political tension in the world. When things got sticky, people would run out and buy gold. The idea being that gold would hold its value even if people lost confidence in stocks and bonds and even paper money. But we've had a war now and a coup in Russia, and the gold has pretty much been flat.
So what's that going to tell you if you're watching this?
Well, gold is still a pretty good indicator of inflation. So if you see gold prices shoot up, you might look forward to consumer prices following.
Okay, there are other numbers that are thrown around that we hear about. One, which I think has been very important to homeowners, is we just heard that the discount rate is coming down.
That's right. The discount rate came down on Friday. Now, the discount rate officially is the rate that the Federal Reserve, the interest rate at which the Federal Reserve lends money to banks. The Federal Reserve is the banker's bank. Now, the best way to understand the discount rate, though, is as kind of a symbol. It's a signal from the Fed to the banks that it wants the banks to lower the interest rates that they charge their customers. Lower interest rates stimulate the economy because they make it cheaper for consumers to borrow to make big purchases, like houses. They make it cheaper for businesses to borrow to expand their business. So the Fed clearly hopes that lowering the discount rate will get the economy jump-started.
We're almost out of time, but I promised we'd try to explain the Index of Economic Indicators. Long title, what does it mean?
All right, the Index of Leading Indicators is a conglomeration of 11 indicators. It's called the leading indicators not because they're most outstanding indicators, but because they anticipate moves in the economy. If the index is up 3 months in a row, it means the economy is probably going up.
Thank you so much for coming in, helping us clear it up somewhat. Harry?
22 minutes after the hour, stay with us for Red Fox and Della Reese in a brand new series.
It's something new for breakfast. CBS This Morning, fortified with your recommended daily allowance of news, newsmakers, and essential consumer and health issues. It's got what you need to get your day going. Plus, inside every show, you get the wholesome goodness of anchor Paula Zahn.
Good morning. I'm Paula Zahn. Welcome to CBS This Morning.
CBS This Morning, breakfast for your head.
At Iowa Methodist, the concern for quality of life extends far beyond the boundaries of our medical center. Our team commitment of helping others radiates to the community through the United Way of Central Iowa. We believe in their people helping people philosophy and support their excellent programs. We truly value teamwork at Iowa Methodist, and that's what United Way is all about. Small individual efforts which collectively have the power to make lives better and futures brighter.
You've waited all year to get the best deal on a new car or truck. And now's the time. Charles Gabus Ford announces disappearance clearance. Over 491s, all at low, low prices. Save over $3,000 on Explorers and Tempos. Save over $3,800 on Rangers and Aerostars. Save over $4,300 on Thunderbirds and Crown Victorias. Even full-size trucks. Save $5,900. 491. Thousands of dollars in discounts. Only during our disappearance clearance. Only at Charles Gabus Ford.
Long Johns has the perfect thing for summer. Neon Super Sport bottles. They're big, portable, and very cool. Just 99 cents each when you buy any meal.
At Long John Silver's, you're gonna get your wish. Go fish, Long John Silver's.
Go for the great fish and chicken combo at Long John's, now just $2.99.
A new frontier coming soon.
You're in an emergency. You can't speak. That's when Medic Alert speaks for you. One call gives us your conditions, medicines, physicians, and family. Medic Alert helps us save lives.
Millions depend on Medic Alert protection. Call Medic Alert at 1-800-ID-ALERT. That's 1-800-ID-ALERT.
This is the TV8 Morning News. Here's John McLaughlin.
A big difference in temperatures today. We're expecting a high around 55 degrees, right now 44, and we'll have the complete forecast coming up in a few moments. At least one of the brothers charged with murder may take the stand in his own defense today. Michael and Alan McKell are charged with murdering 17-year-old Clint Allen near Valley West Mall. Yesterday, state weapons experts testified the bullet that killed Allen did not ricochet, as defense attorneys claim. And in the arson trial concerning the fire at a West Burlington health club, in testimony yesterday, a private arson investigator said he studied debris left behind after the fire and said it is unlikely a flammable liquid was used to accelerate the flames. Prosecutors allege Dale Ryan set fire to the club for financial reasons. The man who was arrested after police found pictures of nude girls has been arrested again. Robert Depew was arrested yesterday after police found an arsenal of weapons at his Missouri home. Police were searching for more photos when the weapons were found. He was in Kansas City awaiting hearings. Motorists are paying for cheaper gas at the pumps. Prices back below the dollar mark, at least in the metro areas. That's the lowest price in 2 years. And TV8's Sue Mason has more.
It seems like a motorist's dream, filling up with unleaded gasoline for only 99 cents a gallon. Prices began falling this week, and now most gas stations in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City have dropped below the dollar mark.
This is tremendous. I just moved here from Omaha, and I haven't seen gas prices. I even came just back from California, and they're not even that low out there in a lot of places, so this is tremendous.
Some gas stations, like Flying J Travel Plaza on I-80, have gone even lower, dropping to 98 cents a gallon. That's the lowest price reported so far in the state. Experts say several factors are influencing the price drop. It's the end of the summer driving season. There are reports that OPEC was overstocking oil, so now there's a larger supply of oil than originally predicted. And gas price wars are on.
It's a lot lower we're paying, and no doubt that's because the summer's over and people are doing a lot less driving, and it's the old supply and demand.
State energy experts say the last time gas prices were this low was in December of 1989. And since then, we've even had a 5-cent a gallon tax added to the price.
Now, motorists who fill up in Iowa pay a total of 35 cents in tax per gallon. They're not complaining about the price now, though. They say it's been a long time since they've seen prices like this.
The way this guzzler eats gas, I think it's great.
And experts say prices won't fall much lower. In fact, they could be back on the way up again soon. We'll check Central Iowa weather right after this.
Listen up, everyone. Don's Wholesale Furniture has just received a new truckload of dinettes and dining room sets, and they're all on sale at rock-bottom prices. Don's got kitchen sets, caster sets, wood sets, metal sets, large sets, small sets, hutches and buffets, curios, and a bigger and better selection than ever before. Hurry in today for the lowest prices and best selection on kitchen and dining room sets in Des Moines. Don's Wholesale Furniture, located at 4401 Northeast 14th Street, Des Moines. Financing, layaway, and credit cards accepted.
One-area weather forecast today, a bit on the chilly side, a high temperature in the mid-50s. Mostly sunny skies today and gusty northwest winds. And then later on tonight, low temperature of 31 to 33 with some areas of frost quite likely around central Iowa. And for tomorrow, a high temperature 55 to 58 with mostly sunny skies. The extended forecast, cool again on Friday, but Saturday and Sunday should be warming back up, at least a little bit, into the 60s and 70s. Overnight lows climbing into the 40s and 50s. In Des Moines right now, clear skies, a temperature of 44 degrees. Winds are out of the northwest at 13, 65% humidity, and the barometer is rising at 3021. That's it for now. Back at noon with an update. Please join us then. Bye-bye.
For up-to-the-minute weather information, day or night, call the TV8 Weather Beacon forecast at 262-7173. Brought to you by Adams Door Company, your full-service garage door specialists.
Elegant. Luxurious. Graceful. MJI Limited. For the mother of the bride or for another special occasion, MJI Limited offers you one-of-a-kind designer dresses. You'll be pleased with how good you look and how well you're treated at MJI. Just wonderful clothes in historic Valley Junction.
In Ottumwa, tune to Translator Channel 23 for better reception of TV8.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's great. I like that.
It's the cast of Teach with our theme this morning. That certainly wasn't music class. The new series makes its debut tonight here on CBS. Welcome to CBS This Morning. I'm Harry Smith.
And I'm Hattie Kauffman, filling in today for Paula Zahn. This is premiere week for primetime TV shows, and in this half hour, we'll get a preview of The Royal Family with Red Fox and Della Reese. One poll calls it the best new series on television.
Also coming up in this half hour, women in the workforce. We're going to find out why the percentage is down for the very first time in a long time. I'm going to show you how to spruce up your wardrobe affordably.
But first, a look at this morning's news. The United States is beefing up its military force in Saudi Arabia to increase pressure on Iraq's Saddam Hussein. A senior administration official says some units will go in within the next day or so. He calls it a precautionary move designed to force Iraq to allow UN helicopters to make inspection flights. The UN is trying to enforce ceasefire terms, providing for inspection of suspected sites of mass destruction weapons. Iran's news agency says this morning that another Western hostage in Lebanon will be released very soon. The Iranians, quote, informed sources in Beirut as saying it will probably be British hostage Jack Mann, who is given his freedom. The 77-year-old man was kidnapped in May of 1989. His abductors released a new photo of him 6 days ago. There's a report out of Moscow this morning that Russian President Boris Yeltsin has been taken to the hospital. Jonathan Sanders is on the phone now from Moscow. Jonathan?
Hattie, good morning. Very contradictory reports this morning in the Soviet Union. Interfax, the usually reliable independent news agency, said Boris Yeltsin, the president of Russia, the bulldozer of radical reform, had an unspecified health problem. They said it was heart insufficiency and he'd been taken to a hospital. But Yeltsin's press secretary came out a little bit later and denied the report, saying the 60-year-old politician is in fine health. There's speculation about whether Yeltsin will appear tomorrow when the Russian parliament reconvenes for the beginning of its regular fall session, the first time the regular meeting of the supreme body of the Russian Republic has taken place since the coup. Hattie?
It sounds murky. Is there any political intrigue behind all of this, Jonathan?
So far, nobody's talking about political intrigue. You remember the whole coup affair started with reports that Gorbachev was ill, but nobody's saying that about Yeltsin. Yeltsin has had some health problems in the past, and people talk about heart problems here with all kinds of unspecific reference. I've had people say, I've had a heart attack, I can't do an interview with you, please come back tomorrow. So we're going to have to wait to see what the real truth is. Hattie?
Jonathan Sanders reporting from Moscow. Thank you. A ceasefire is supposed to be in effect in Yugoslavia this morning, but few people believe it will hold any better than several previous ceasefires between warring Serbia and Croatia. The hours before the truce was to start saw the fighting reach the Croatian capital of Zagreb for the first time. Rockets lit up the skies and dozens of casualties were reported in gunfire in several other Croatian cities. In this country, airlines and their passengers are flying again this morning after a night of delays and cancellations centered in New York. Thousands of passengers spent hours waiting at New York's 3 airports, while traffic headed there backed up in other cities. The problem was an AT&T power failure that also cut long-distance phone service, keeping stranded passengers from notifying people waiting on the other end. It is time to check in with Mark with the weather. Mark?
Hello, Hattie. This weather segment is sponsored by Mountain Grown Folgers Coffee. Folger is the best part of waking up. A couple of birthdays. Annette Funicello's heartthrob in those beach movies. Frankie Avalon is 51. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Beretta Robert Blake is 53. Actor Jack Warden is 71. And the very first edition of the New York Times was published on this date 140 years ago. I wonder if they had home delivery service then. Let's talk about the weather behind us. If you're reading the paper this morning, you're seeing lots of moisture, not perspiration. Perspiration's on the map as well, but moisture from New Mexico all the way up into Vermont. They're talking about it. Lots of thunderstorms. As the cold front meets the warm front, you're going to see some rain across the Great Lakes as well. It's going to be rather nippy up across Minnesota. Eastern side of the Rockies is going to have a clear, crisp sort of day. Western side is going to be a little bit warmer. Down through the southwestern part of the country, 78 for a high in Los Angeles, 101 in Medford, but just a little clouds up across the northern part of the country. Real quickly for tomorrow, what you're going to see out on the western half of the country, a little bit warmer, be in the 80s down through the southern part of California, down in the southwest. See some clouds through New Mexico and also Arizona. 70s across the Rockies. That rain will be moved